Hey, welcome to this edition of Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant. No, not yet. No. Hey, this is going to be a special edition of Road Warrior. I really don't want to kind of debut what I'm talking about kind of into the end because I really don't want to have a what you call spoiler alert. So what we're going to do is kind of look at the impact on this vehicle one little piece at a time. Now, one hint I'll give you, of course, is this sports car is adorned in red and it has pretty much a real dramatic front, which is where we're going to begin because grille warfare and front end power is where it all begins. And what you're going to notice is this headlight assembly. Now, trust me, this is stereotypical, nice glass light cylinder headlights, but what's really important is its innovation. Now, what it does is actually as you go down the road, you barely turn the steering wheel, it's going to start to illuminate that side of the vehicle. As you enter the curve, the headlights actually sweep long before you get there. So this is one of the most important aspects already on this vehicle. Now, with any kind of race-inspired sports car, you really want contrast, not maybe a lot of chrome, but a lot of black accents. Now, what this vehicle really does well is a lot of body color all the way around, with black being the primary contrast right here in the grille. And what I really like is kind of their smooth, chisel to a perfection approach. And where you see that is in this sweeping hood, nice kind of ridge lines, and again, a little bit of that sports-inspired, of course, exterior. Now, with any sport-inspired vehicle, one area you can look at, of course, is getting down low and figuring out that ground clearance. And on this vehicle, it is just that, very low and one with the road, around about 5.3 inches, typical for any vehicle that measures 0 to 60 before fuel economy. Now, another thing you'll notice is this honeycomb black-inspired lower grille. Now, it gives you that kind of menacing growl, obviously coupled with that grille up above. Last but not least are these nice parking sensors you see here, obviously helping you with the daily in and out of the parking spaces, but once it's coupled with all the other sensors, it gives you even more awareness when you're backing up and of course that cross traffic. Now, with the all-inspired horsepower under the hood, you got to have grip at the corners, and this vehicle does that quite well. First with all-wheel drive, and second with these nice radials. Now, it comes optional with the Performance 235 40 radials with the optional 19-inch rims you see here. Now, with all the sport up front, you got to bling it with the sport on the side with this nice, again, black brushed aluminum kind of look. Now, I talked about it earlier, but where you see some more performance right here in this horizontal line, again, tying this vehicle to the road, one with ground clearance, and anything that kind of implies horizontal. We'll get to that on some other aspects in a minute, but you got to appreciate just this kind of fine line here on the sides. Now, what I really like is the profile in this kind of coupe-like roof line that kind of sweeps around here to the back end. Now, you could have gone with the old standard glass treatment, but what they did is add this rear spoiler for added effect. Now, even better, this spoiler kind of cups just a little bit to mimic that roof line. Now, with the turbocharged engine on the hood, one thing you expect, of course, is dual pipes at the back end. Now, maybe a little upgrade, it wouldn't hurt down the road. Maybe put quad pipes back here, a little bit of rumble to add a little bit more pizzazz. Now, where a spirited ride begins is under the hood, and this model comes in 3 engine power plants, either a 4-cylinder diesel or this turbocharged 6-cylinder. Now, what that all means is, of course, about 300 plus horses and a lot of spunk off the line. Even better, this engine comes coupled with an 8-speed automatic transmission, and better yet, some paddle shifters there on the steering wheel. Now, just for review, this vehicle comes in red, dramatic front end, and of course that horsepower under the hood, but one place that has to matter is on the inside with these nice optional sports seats. Now, what you're going to find with these, a little bit snug, they're not the standard, and really grip you around the sides. And of course, that's important when you're hammering this vehicle down the road because this vehicle really delivers that muscle. Now, with any sport-inspired vehicle, one place you can look is by the numbers, and a good place to start is the overall height. This vehicle falling in just under 5 feet tall and just over 6 feet wide. Good numbers because it's going to slip through the air with its low profile, and with that width, really handles the curves just fine. Now, the other numbers you have to think about is the overall length. This one coming in quite lengthy at about 182 inches and a wheelbase pretty stretched at about 109. And I can't really place the fact of how this sports car can really pull off those numbers. We'll take a look and you can figure it out. Obviously, this sports car comes in red, but that's about it because it really delivers that sports wagon. Something that's really kind of fallen off by the wayside, but is making a true comeback in this particular model. Now that you've seen the full vehicle, obviously what is it? It's the 2015 Volvo V60 T6 Edition. Now with any sports wagon, one of the biggest areas has to be the rear cargo and really getting to the grocery store fast and delivering all the packages home. So let's dive inside and see what this vehicle can handle. Now before you dive into the cargo area, one thing to talk about are the smart key systems, and the V60 comes with just that. Now where that comes in handy is here at the back cargo area. As you walk up to the rear hatch, press on the rubber grip and the rear hatch rises to the occasion. Now once it opens up, you're going to see the huge vast area typical for a sport wagon. Allow you to throw all the groceries in or anything you want into this nice carpeted area. Now under the rear cargo floor, you're going to notice a kind of nice little niche, really housing items you want to keep in there all the time, maybe in the snow belt, throwing some scrapers, really storing them in there. Now under that floor, you're not going to find a spare tire, because this vehicle does have the pressure tire monitoring system, but does come with a pump and some other amenities just in case you do get in a jam. Now I hope it didn't scare you off with the term wagon, because after all, this vehicle is so much more than a wagon and just carrying groceries and 5 people, because it does come in red and have a lot of horsepower, so at least you're going to do it really quickly. Now if I didn't mention it before, this is the R design, which gives you these kind of sport inspired racing seats. Now what you're going to see is about 33 inches of leg room back here, fairly decent, with about 41 inches up front. Now what 33 equates to is pretty snug, but what I like is these niches right here in the seat backs allows the knees to have a little more breathing room. Now with these R design seats, one thing you're not going to find is the built-in boosters for children 3 years and older. That of course is on the standard seats, but man, I just buy mine for 25 bucks, throw it in here when you need it. Now last but not least is the design of the rear seat. Basically, you're looking at a 40-20-40 split, allowing you to kind of fold the seats as you need, kind of accommodating cargo and people, or all cargo and leave the people at home. One thing I like about my recent test drives behind the Volvos is really from the sedans to the wagons, they all kind of feel the same, which means even this grocery go-getter, you still got a lot of sport. And where it all kind of culminates is in the Scandinavian design, which is simple, is better, and it's all right here on the dash. One smooth, sleek look, a little bit of brushed chrome, but overall pretty much keeping it simple and minimizing the overall look. Behind the dash, you're going to find simple is the key here as well, with a huge center tach and speedometer combo with some information in the center, which you can adjust as you go down the road. What you're going to find on the right is the power boost gauge, and most importantly really is that fuel gauge, because I barely even see it trickle down even with all that horsepower on the hood. Now while the competitors may be going touch screen, Volvo still holds true with the LCD screen up there with the controls down below. Now I still like this combo. It seems to be Volvo's way, and really all the controls are right there front and center, and most importantly really is that climate control with a nice simple diagram to kind of ease your way through the control factors. That does it for this edition of Road Warrior and our test drive behind the wheel of the 2015 Volvo V60 T6 Edition with the R design. Now it's a huge mouthful, but basically what it means is you got one pretty vehicle, kind of in a wagon-esque like look. Now what that really means at the end of the day is, heck, it's real pretty and it looks good going to the grocery store or even to the ballroom. Now last but not least, I talked about a little bit of the safety features, but of course there's plenty more with Volvo, and even the connectivity with your phone to this vehicle. Now as always, we'd like to thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.